Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I hope that you're having a fantastic day out there. Thank you so much for being here and clicking on the video. Whether it's your first time stopping on in and you're just here, for the first time, you just want to, listen to some Sakamoto with me, or maybe it's, your subsequent time being here, and this is just a return. I appreciate you joining me today as we dive into, I'm very excited about this, 8th studio album from Ryuichi Sakamoto, released in 1989, that album being entitled Beauty. We are listening to this because the album itself had been suggested by a few of you, or at least mentioned by some of you. Wendell Wiggins, I see you here. Christian Mueller, that you said that this is a really fantastic album as well. Pablo Sanz, 359 also. So thank you guys for the recommendation. Thank you for the suggestions. There may have been more of you, but those are at least the names that I could find kind of on a quick-ish whim here. So this wasn't an album that I had like on my wish list of albums to get to, which is way over 250 something at this point. But we had recently listened to Ballet Mécanique, and it kind of for lack of a better word, reignited or reminded me of Sakamoto and some of his music that I should be diving into. And so I figured that's what we should definitely be doing today. We've listened to a little bit from him on the channel and such, but I would like to explore just a little bit more. So this is one of those ones I say, like, of course the music was suggested and the album was suggested, hence why I'm coming specifically to this album. But this is also just one for me. This is one for me. Sometimes, I do one for you, you do one for me. This is one for me. So I hope that you guys are excited for it. The lineup on this album really, really surprised me from, what you guys said in the comments. That's kind of how I first kind of came to it with what you had mentioned. I mean, you have some very standout names in here. Robert Wyatt, Brian Wilson, Yasuo Endor, Pino Palladino. I mean, El Shankar on here as well. You have a lineup. You have a nice lineup. So I'm very curious to hear how this album comes together. Very curious to hear how it sounds. And if you don't mind, before we move any further, press the like button. It's that button, over here somewhere? The little thumb. Just click that for me. It goes a long way. Just do that. Also, say hi in the comments. Even if you don't say anything about the music, just give me a wave. Give me a hi. Give me a what's up. The Buy Me a Coffee is also there. If you have a song request that you'd like to sponsor, jump in front of the line and get that to me. You can do so over there. Patreon has exclusive content. And like I mentioned right here on YouTube, the liking, the subscribing, the sharing, and all of that other fun stuff. Listen, I don't know about you, but I got my coffee ready to go. I got my water ready to go. I would consider myself ready to go. And so, I think it's time to go. Let's go ahead and start off with the first track here, Calling from Tokyo. And as always, my friends, this one's to you. We are starting off right, man. Grimy bass. I love that. Jeez, man. kidding. God, are we in for a fantastic time? That is exactly what I'm looking for. He's needing a nap there in the back of here. That is exactly what I'm in the mood for. This is beautiful. This is fantastic. I love the drums and that grimy, murky bass. That is deep. It is pulsating, but it's still grooving beneath there. Bum, 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 bum. It's the kind of bass line that just makes you kind of slink in the shadows with it, just murking it up. Very swampy. And the vocals on here are really fantastic too. So I can't exactly tell you who's the vocalist in this track, because there's so many different people involved in the album, and it's not necessarily broken down by who's, featuring what in what track, except for the tracks You Do Me. But regardless of whoever's singing in here, absolutely brilliant. I mean, I would assume it's Sakamoto kind of singing the more plaintive singing in here. But then you have, it sounds like not only some Japanese vocalist here in the background, but perhaps like some African vocals, perhaps, maybe. I don't think it's Endure here. I'm not quite sure, and I don't want to assume. But whoever it is, absolutely beautiful. And it's a really cool kind of cultural cross-pollination that's also happening, especially in that section there. Because, let me pull it back up here. Like I said, you have the more plaintive vocals right here. Like, I think that's Sakamoto, I would assume. Then you have the backing vocals here. See, like, there's a cool cross-pollination culturally there. With the different layers, you have the more bubbly and playful kind of chanting, and then the da-da-da, da-da-da. Like, it's really cool how there's a really nice balance back and forth in this track there between the two. What a really fantastic opening to the album. That is the perfect musical welcome mat for us to step upon and then enter the home that is this album. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Rose. What a great opener. Kind of Peter Gabrielish in a certain moment. That is so Sakamoto, this minimalistic kind of playing. The fretless.
Does a rose lose its color in the rain? Do the years take the edges of the rock? Did my lips leave a shadow on your back? Does a rose lose its color in the rain?
Oh God, the fretless, man.
Tremble, windows, branches lick. Cheeks starting drop. Hands pale stones. Leaves from trees. Marble from steel. Slow air rocks. Does a rose lose its color in the rain? If I'm not here, do your eyes look the same?
That must be Pino.
When the snow falls, is the sky blue? Does a rose lose its color in the rain?
That has to be Palladino on the bass here. It sounds like his style.
Uma rosa de vocabulário encolhido. Rosa onde o preto devia estar. Uma rosa mais ou menos muda. Do plástico japonês do Noel. Parece, mas não é. Do anunciar e do medo de amar. Língua rosa em boca amarela. Desbotada ainda é? Fere a vista.
Tremble, windows, branches lick.
I kind of like just the gentle word association he throws in here.
Cheeks steady drop. Hands pale stones. Leaves from trees. Marble from steam. Slow air rocks. Does a rose lose its color in the rain? Do the years take the edges of the rock? Did my lips leave a shadow on your back? Does a rose lose its color in the rain? Does a rose lose its color in the rain? If I'm not here, do your eyes look the same? When the snow falls, is the sky blue? Does a rose lose its color in the rain? Does a rose lose its color in the rain? Do the years take the edges of the rock? Did my lips leave a shadow?
I cannot tell you how excited I am to continue diving into this album. And I apologize, I just realized I didn't even look at the lyrics for the previous track. Honestly, I'm just kind of sucked in. I kind of switched over into casual mode where I'm not even I'm just listening to the music. Oh wow. Rose. Okay, it has to be Palladino on the bass on this one. With that fretless sound and the subtle tight groove of it, the way that it bends in such a beautiful way, like arcs of light, that has to be Pino on the bass. And I love how we get a touch here of Sakamoto, not just vocally, but his piano playing and the subtlety that he brings to that. I really enjoy Sakamoto's piano playing. I mean, obviously, I've first heard of Sakamoto via David Sylvian, and it is gorgeous in here. And the only other Sakamoto album I've listened to besides this and Thousand Knives and such was his last album that he had made, which I can't remember the number. It has a number. It's a white album with like a bunch of colors kind of scribbled on there. But I listened to that whenever it came out, and it was just like a nice, quiet piano album. Basically, I see it 12, released in 2023. I was just looking it up real quick, and I listened to that one, quite a long time ago, and I just always remember like really wanting to get further into his music because I know he has such a depth of catalog, and this is part of our journey into that. And this is such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful sound. I also really like how Sakamoto, his lyrics, like in this one, are very much almost like a word association, not completely diving into sentences, prose, and phrases, just words to guide us along with feelings, with pictures, with visuals, and everything that comes along with it. Then you have, I'm assuming it's Spanish that's spoken / kind of sung in a way here. Also from Ardo Lindsay on this particular track, who I'm looking at him up, and he was a member of the No Wave group DNA and others from there. And I like how balanced the speaking vocals are between them. And just the way that their words flow are really, really beautiful and sound like just like a gentle stream over some rocks. And we're even talking about the rocks in this track, So it's a very beautiful nature-bound kind of track here. And I think it works incredibly well. We're going to look at the lyrics for Rose, and then we'll back up and go into the previous track. I apologize about that. Does a rose lose its color in the rain? Do the years take the edges off a rock? Did my lips leave a shadow on your back? Does a rose lose its color in the rain? I like this one. There's a really that's a very evocative line. Did my lips leave a shadow on your back? I think that's a very, very evocative line. Tremble, windows, branches, lick, cheeks study, drops, hands, pale stones, leaves from trees, marble from steel, slow air, rocks. There's a sense of erosion here and like scenery in the way that he describes everything here. He says here, if I'm not here, do your eyes look the same? Your eyes, let's say, not eye color necessarily, but maybe your eyes light up when I'm around, but when I'm not there, how do your eyes look? When the snow falls, is the sky blue? Is it still blue even though there's snow coming down? And then we have this, which I'm gonna translate this really quick. Translate selection in English. Oh, I can just do that. Huh, I didn't know I could just do that. Okay, it says, of course, it's not going to be a perfect one-to-one, but you guys can't see it. But it says, a rose of chosen vocabulary, a rose where black should be, a more or less mute rose of Japanese plastic. From Noel, it looks like it, but it isn't. Denunciation and the fear of loving myself. Pink tongue and a yellow mouth. Faded, no, it hurts the eyes. I mean, there's definitely more an expansion of the poetic prose, and definitely further from just the word association from before from Sakamoto himself. And I feel like it's a much more verbose way of kind of saying the same thing in a sense. This erosion of love, and we're separated now, but is there something that remains? And then it repeats those lyrics from there. Did my lips leave a shadow? Is there still something lingering? Ooh. And then calling from Tokyo here. Remember the place I saw you first. Here in this place I saw you last. The first girl, the last boy, who saw who? First sunshine, last raindrop, holding hands. Does it sound like the place? Did you hear birds or words in this place? I heard you go past. The first girl, the last boy, who saw who? First sunshine, last raindrop, holding hands. Remember the place I saw you first. Here in this place, I saw you at last. Not I saw you last, but at last. Maybe it's a contrast of where they first met, but then where he first saw this other person and really understood them and got to know them. There's a feeling of, and a sense of time and progression in the relationship. Whereas, of course, the following track kind of hails towards the erosion of that relationship as time moves forward. So one time is kind of moving forward into a positive light, and the other kind of into a negative. Let's move into the next track here, which is Asadoya Yunta. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. What a great time this is. Now we have that Sakamoto orchestration with the piano. And this nicely flows off the back of Rose as well. The shamisen. I love how it gentled up right there. It's got that strong strumming. I love that synthy whistle. Such a strike of drama. incredible, man. Really, really incredible. This so nicely follows Rose and kind of gently starts to build things up a little bit. We once again are beautifully led in the intro with Sakamoto's piano playing, which is, of course, just out of this world and beautiful to listen to. And then little by little, we get swept up into kind of this is how I hear it. I visualize a village and life is just continuing forward. There's, you know, everyday things happening. People are going about their business. And it's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful time and very, very natural with everything that happens in that village. And then I'm assuming that it's shamisen and koto maybe that are being performed here. I got to look at the personnel list. Yeah, so you have shamisen on the album as a whole. I can't speak for exactly this particular track, but you have that performed by Kazumi Tamaki, Misako Koja, and also Yoriko Ganeko, handled on the album as a whole, and definitely at least one of them here. And so wonderfully put together. But then you have that very humble kind of sound, but so nicely juxtaposed and dramatically pushed with those strings. Like now, it's so interesting how this album has already kind of moved from this particular standpoint. Big, beautiful opening with like a very, kind of 80s groove, very Peter Gabriel-esque. Then we move into something extremely subtle, beautifully romantic, and now we're kind of building back up there. We're kind of lifting off into this particular direction here. It's just really cool how the track listing affects the mood. I always think that the ordering of songs and the track listing in an album is thoroughly important and more important, I think, than sometimes is realized. And I think that the way it's performed here and the way it's moved so far perfectly kind of exemplifies basically what I said. I love the female singing in the back. I'm not sure who it is because there's so many people that are credited. It could be those people that I mentioned as well. But incredible how it all comes together. Now, I did see that this track is apparently, let me see, because there's a Wikipedia article for this one. It's originally a folk song, a Ryukyuan folk song originating from the Yaeyama Islands in Okinawa Prefecture, Japan. The lyrics to Asadoya Yunta originated from a story where a beautiful lady from Takatomi Island, known as Asato Koyama, received a wedding proposal from a Ryukyuan government official who came from another island. In one version of the story, the woman bravely rejects the proposal as she felt as if marrying a local man from her island would provide a better life than to become a mistress of this official. In another version, she ends up marrying him. The first version is popular in the Okinawa Islands, whereas the latter version is popular in Takatomi. That's kind of interesting. That depending on where you live, and it makes sense with the story there, there's different outcomes. That's kind of interesting. There's an anti-government motive behind this song as it took place when the Japanese owned the Ryukyu Kingdom as one of its vassal states, heavily taxing the local populace. So it was kind of an example of them rejecting not only this marriage in this way, but also symbolically rejecting the government there. It says became more popular when it spread to mainland Japan in 1934, when Nippon Columbia created a Japanese language version of it. The Japanese lyrics were more of a love song rather than a retelling of the original story. So here's those lyrics here, which I did pull up here as well, but we can read them directly. Well, I guess I can't read them directly because it's in Romanji and Kanji there. Okay, are you a wild rose in the field? Okay, oui, oui. When dusk falls and I return home, you try to keep me there. Mataharu no Sundara Kanushamayo. Okay, I feel both happy and embarrassed. I've made a name for myself. My master is a white lily, but I can't control myself. Mataharu no Sundara. This is probably not an exact translation. I could probably find maybe a better translation of the original English. Let's see, I'm just clicking the first link. Okay, here's the first link that I pulled up. Are you a thorny flower of the fields? When the day darkens, I return home. You keep me. Happy, shy, with a light reputation, the white lily would not match you. The arrowhead harvest is on the 16th day of the moon. We will be alone with our feelings. Let us dye the blue silk garments. Please bind the cords of your passion. Like, let us bind ourselves to one another. According to this translator, it says, Marahari nu Sindara Kanishamayo is a very mysterious phrase. It seems that a lot of natives of Okinawa believe these words to be the dialect of Takatomi Island when the song was written. Those who asked of their ancient Okinawan parents and grandparents were told it meant something like such a lovely girl. However, the fellow with the website above wrote that the sentence was actually in Malay, spoken in Indonesia. How interesting. Language is such an interesting thing in general. I think linguistics is a fascinating study. Okay, with that, let's linguistic our way into the next track here, which is going to be Futique. See, now we're moving kind of into the 80s again. Really, really interesting all the variety we've gotten so far already. Sorry. I like the very metallic sound here.
What's all wet or upside down? What's inside out except late at night? What sound is silent until it's too late? What gets too close and goes too fast?
Hey. I wonder who's singing on this one.
What's the difference between rain and money? What's never here? What's too early? Where can I hide this great big city? I want to make sure you find it. Would you climb over walls in the dark for me? Who would want to smoke another man's pipe?
Okay.
Why do you have two eyes and just one mouth? Have you seen the dog and the bee in the same moonlight?
I like this weird synthy violin-esque kind of sound. That's a very addictive kind of sound. Okay, Futique, it once again, we're getting so much variety in this album in just the first few tracks. It has a little bit of a minimalistic, kind of cold industrial sound to it in its electronic movements, but not like an industrial rock or anything like that, but just because of the metallicness of some of the sounds, you know, the clinking, the clanging. I really like the throng that's happening in the back alongside of that. I'm going to describe it as a synthy violin whistle kind of thing. That comes through, and I really like the mood that it builds because it just sounds like it's taking place in an abandoned boiler room. That's the best way. We're gonna check abandoned boiler room. That's how this sounds to me. It works. This is how it sounds to me. It sounds just abandoned and just derelict, but you know, it's rusted over a little overgrown, but at the same time, like, I don't know, something's working. There's still power going to it, so it has this really unique kind of sound in which there's a little bit of life that's kind of keeping the machines going and keeping them traveling. And I really like, you know, that kind of melody that kind of seeps through. It's like that little vein of wind that comes through the factory that just stirs it a little bit, you know. It keeps it moving in a very interesting way. I don't know who's speaking, singing, etc. on this track, but I did not like that. I don't like their speaking voice in here. I was trying to find where they are.
Inside out,
Here.
except late at night, what sound is silent until it's too late?
Like, on one hand, I can hear it fitting, but on the other hand, I don't feel like it fits. The voice, whoever that is, it sounds like they fit in like a post-punk kind of band, and like they would fit in better in that sound. And on the other hand, like I said, this is a weird one. If I'm being objective, which with music, there's no such thing technically, because we all look at music and hear music in our own different way. If I'm looking at this objectively, I think that it works, that kind of style with this minimalistic electronic kind of sound. But if I'm being subjective, and I just don't care for it. That's just me. I do like the end where you have the kind of quiet wailing that takes place beneath it. I think that sounds really good. And that's a really nice melodic way to kind of end this twisted metal kind of track. But I didn't like the singing, speaking in there. I don't know, it just didn't fit to me. What's all wet or upside down? What's inside out except late at night? Is that a restaurant joke, a fast food joke? The sound is silent until it's too late. What gets too close and goes too fast? We got a riddle on our hands. What's the difference between rain and money? What's never here unless it's early? Where can I hide this great big city? I want to make sure you find it. Would you climb over walls in the dark for me? Would you want to smoke another man's pipe? Or who would want to smoke another man's pipe? Why do you have two eyes and just one mouth? Have you seen the dog and the bee in the same moonlight? I don't know exactly what it means, but it sounds like he's trying to get whoever it is to sneak out at night with them. What do you think futique means? It may not be a literal word, but it just might be kind of a made-up word. Futique meaning. All right. I guess it's an album from Biffy Clyro. Don't know who that is, but that's not what I'm looking for. I don't see anything besides that, actually. I mean, I see that it's a portmanteau of future and antique. Makes sense. But I don't know. At least related to this album, because it just keeps on bringing me to that other album there from Biffy. All right, next track, Amor. Little Love. Who's doing that? little flamenco for this thing? Sakamoto, the world traveler.
Good morning,
Hey.
good evening. Where are you? Good evening, good morning. Where are you?
Wow.
Good morning, good evening. Where are you?
This is such a cool sound that Sakamoto's created with this. I don't even know what to describe it as. That main melody.
Good evening, good morning. Where are you?
I would assume that this is indoor. Hey. Who's playing that guitar, man? That is really awesome.
Good evening. Where are you?
I love that sound. I don't.
Good morning. Good morning. Who are you? Good morning. Good evening. Where are you?
Oh. This is a smorgasbord of styles in the album, but if you want to just look at this track on an individual level, I can't even describe everything that's happening here. You have kind of a flamenco-esque, and I mean esque in the widest sense of the word. Give me a wide berth on this one. Style and strumming in the guitar, part of the guitar, early in, and some of the movement of the track. But then you have this ripping guitar that comes in, just wah, a lot of vibrato, a little shake in that hand, playing in there. And I'm not sure who's playing the guitar on this particular track. You have two guitarists here. I'm sorry, five guitarists on the album as a whole: Carlos Lomas, Bana Takura, Dali Kimoko Ndala, Eddie Martinez, and Robbie Robertson. Couldn't tell you who's playing on this particular track, but I like how they just come in every once in a while, just rip one for you, and then back off. That's what their job is. They come in, perform a little clash, and then back out of there, and allow the rest of the music to play. I also really like Sakamoto's choice. I'm assuming it's him performing that. I don't even know how to describe it. This flute-ish, synthy, breathy synth of sorts. I don't know exactly what it is, but he's created something interesting there with the way that he performs that lead. It's really interesting. And can I say that sound specifically for you to take that lead is like the perfect representation of a real instrument and the synth, the artificial, the digital, the electronic, whatever you want to call it. And bringing those two together is one of Sakamoto's specialties. And just that lead there is really, really cool. Love the percussion, the amount of percussion in here. I don't know, because it's not like I have a lot of experience listening to Endower, but I'm assuming that perhaps it's him singing in this track as well. I believe that's going to be his vocals that are featured back there, which give this such an encompassing and surrounding and such a beautiful worldly feeling to it, with just these deep cultural references that Sakamoto's pulling from in so many different places. It comes across genuine, it comes across with interest and with respect, and it just sounds cool, man. it just sounds really cool. This track has a wonderful smorgasbord of sound. And it's romantic, right? Listen to the rhythm and like the strumming of the guitar. Very flamenco. But this flute synth sound that Sakamoto's doing, and then leading into the guitar, is really, really interesting. The calm, good morning. Like it's simple lyrics, but it works in the span of this song. Good morning, good evening, where are you? Good morning, good evening, where are you? Good morning, good evening, who are you? Change from place, location, and destination to who are you? Self. It's simple, but it comes together. And it's amor, love. Where are you? And who are you? This is such a cool album to go through. Let's hit the next track here. We Love You. Hope you guys are enjoying it. This one. This is that funk. I love this, like, a very hypnotic harmony between the vocals there. And the funky guitar and bass is popping. Maybe that's in doubt. What a beautiful celebration. this be Wyatt in here? An outpouring of love.
And we hope that you will love we do.
You just can't help but move. This kind of reminds me of like a Talking Heads song where they just let the beat ride. They just let the jam, the music just kind of go on its own. And I feel like it's just a party on stage. It's a party of sorts for all the performers. There's something wonderfully and beautifully festive about it. Of course, the upbeat mantra of "We love you" is naturally going to feel very, peaceful and harmonious and really beautiful. Just that sentiment, just from the musicians to us as the listener, and that reassurance. And I think that comes through really wonderfully in the music here. I love how once again we kind of hit, like we did with the first track, that kind of deep rhythm, wonderful bass, some great vocals here as well. I'm assuming, I don't know. I'm assuming it's Yusu on here as well. And I'm going to take a stab in the dark. I feel like Robert Wyatt might be in this track as well. I'm not like overly familiar with his vocals, so I can't say for sure. I'm making an assumption. It just sounds like it's because Wyatt, like in my mind, is he's a prominent member and figure of the Canterbury scene. So there's a vocal in there that kind of sounds Canterbury-ish to me. So that's how I'm kind of coming to that conclusion. I can't say that I recognize his vocals on a specific level. It's just making me think that maybe he's in there, reasserting that harmony with everyone else in this particular track. But this, to me, like I said, is a fun percussion-driven, vocal chant-driven track. I'm assuming it's Yusu in there also, not only on the harmonies, but also kind of with those really sporadic outbursts as well in the midst of the chanting and such. And this is, to me, a feel-good track, a feel-good halfway point on the album, just to kind of reaffirm those good feelings. Not really much to look at in the lyrics, to be honest. We love you, and we hope that you love we too. We love they, we want, and we want you to love they too. Just everybody love. I hope that you won't prove wrong. That's it. Nothing more to look at in there. But I think that rhythmically, this is a fun one. And like I said, I can just see them all dancing in the studio, maybe like creating this track. They're all together in studio and just kind of jamming out and feeling it out, feeling out where the music goes from there. Diabarum, or Barum, is the next track here. Diabarum?
jabaram nena du ko bàyyi taru nayi moom la miinu nena du ko bàyyi moom la xamoo ba nena du ko bàyyi jabaram
Love that stroke.
nena du ko bàyyi taru nayi moom la miino nena du ko bàyyi taru naa moom la miino moom la xam ko bàyyi nit sama nit ku baax gëm naa
It's a perfect come down.
jabaram
That part is so
nena du
percussive.
ko bàyyi taru nayi mboolem xaritam yëpp ñi naan ko bàyyi ko moom la miinu moom la xam moo ko ñaani woon nena du ko bàyyi jabaram nit sama nit ku baax jabaram nena du ko bàyyee tasu naaye li mu diggaaleeg moom soo ko nee tam bàyyee loolu
An absolutely beautiful, beautiful rest in the music. Gentle keys, just like raindrops. Vocals are sensational. When they first started, no matter, well, I shouldn't say no matter, but pretty much no matter which direction the music was going to go from the first 10 seconds or so, as long as it stayed in a very particular lane like that, I was not going to be mad at it. When we start off like this, when I hear that, I'm good. I'm absolutely good. And when the vocals came in, I have to find where they came in. Somewhere a little further up here. Come on. I feel like that's soul touching. This sounds like soul searching music. It sounds like a wandering spirit just trying to find a home, just trying to find where it's supposed to go. I am once again assuming it's Yusu in here. Could be wrong, but I'm assuming. Incredibly passionate vocals as well. I like how there's a clear power in the delivery, but it feels like there's also a restraint. It feels like there's also a lot of holding back. This isn't a track that needs a diva-esque vocal riffing or, big dramatic kind of singing or such. It's restful and it feels emotional. And I think that it works incredibly well. Just a little ride to touch the rhythm. But otherwise, it's a very simplistic and yet elegant song and track here. Now, let's get a translation here for us. Of course, it may not be exact, but we can do what we can. He said he wouldn't leave him. He said he wouldn't leave him. He was mine. He said he wouldn't leave him. He was my friend. He said he wouldn't leave him. Man is my man. Man is his tree, I believe. He says he won't leave him. He's married. He knows he won't leave him. Man, my man is his tree. Believe. My wife's wife. He said he wouldn't leave her. He was scattered what he commanded. He said, you're going to leave. It's hard. Of course, it's not going to be a one-to-one. It's not going to be an exact. So the translation may not be great. And it's a little hard to parse out the exact meaning. But I mean, I guess it's just one partner leaving for another partner, but saying, I'm not leaving, perhaps. I want to see if Debarim translates to anything. Wolof to English. Let's see if that's the language. So when I translate it, it says diagram. So if we're going to take that into consideration, perhaps this is a diagram of the different relationships between these people and how they cross-section and perhaps connect. And maybe some of those connections are going to be disconnected and reconnected to others. In a sense, it seems so. Maybe. Or something like that. I don't know, but the music is really good. the music is incredibly passionate and just a melodic wonder. Let's move on into the next one here. A Pile of Time. Shot off. That's from, is that No? Like the theater? No, that's The Mask. Very theatrical. Hey, what's that? Big swaths of strings. That's like a march. It's big and grand. It's walking to you. Heavy. That percussion is going. The strings got away. This sounds like kind of like with the Sadoya Yunta, like how that was Sakamoto's kind of updated version of a folk song, something very traditional. This feels very much the same, like kind of taking something traditional and bringing it to a different, at this time, more modern light. But specifically, I'm thinking that of like theater, and I'm pretty. Isn't it No the performance NOH? Like with the mask that they have, isn't that the type of performance it is, or am I thinking of the wrong thing? What's the name of the actual performance? I don't think it's. Oh, what is it? What's the name of like the Japanese theater? I've even watched it before. Oh, because I've watched Kabuki. Is Kabuki? Like okay, because especially when you hear the yo, when we heard that, yeah. Okay, I know I couldn't think of like the actual like the type of theater and what such. But this is what I was thinking of. It sounds like we're kind of hearing a version of Sakamoto paying homage and paying respects to this type of performance, in which it's very dramatic, theatrical, very physical, and like I feel like the music perfectly captures that. Yeah, big, almost violent swaths of strings. Ba 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 ba. Then you have the shamisen once again here, maybe koto. I'm not quite sure. The singing goes back and forth between traditional and, like I said, kind of stage-ish, and then we have the more chanting, oh, that kind of has like this overarching looming kind of theatricality, and then it of course goes back to those strings. Ba, 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 ba. So it's very big, this song. But then there's moments that kind of sound a little bit more like Yunto, where it sounds a little bit more like humble and quaint and quiet, but never leaving the stage as well. So I think it's really interesting the way that Sakamoto, if my thinking is correct, kind of takes these specific parts of, in this case, Japanese culture, and kind of, for lack of a better word, updates it, remixes it, covers it, takes it, reshapes it, never changes the heart of what makes it what it is, and just like updates it. He kind of does like a 0.1 patch, basically. And I think that sounds really cool, and it works really well the way that he performs that. I like how heavy this track is percussive wise as well. Not only with like the big drums, but, and for all I know, it could be, what are the big drums that they sometimes play? The taiko drums. For all I know, it could be taiko drums that are involved here. I don't know if it is. Yeah, taiko is what I'm thinking of. But also like the very, very quiet percussion that's being played in there. I do see that you have tabla performed in the album by Pandit Dinesh, and it very well could be tabla that's being played back there. It does sound a little bit like it there. I only have some of the lyrics here. I walk where you never roamed. I hear what you never heard. I see what you never saw. I feel what you felt before. All these things that you've gone through, these experiences, these senses, I'm feeling that now. Then those lyrics repeat through this. Like these things some things that this other person didn't experience, they're experiencing. And then others that perhaps they've forgotten they've experienced, they're experiencing as well. Those things that are perhaps left in a pile of time, I guess you could say. The dustbin of forgotten memories. Let's move on to the next track, Romance. I'm expecting this one to be, a little.
Oh my.
Maybe.
Oh my.
Maybe. That sounds like something Peter Gabriel could work on. This has a nice traditional sound, but that groove, very modern. This little ambience that's blooming right here. It sounds like a steel drum. She's got a really nice sway with her voice, like a tree in the breeze. Like a little guitar too in the back. Ooh. I like this change. Big strings coming through. Is that guitar? I like how this track, once again, to me, like the singing, some of the instrumentation, it sounds to me like traditional Japanese music, but of course, kind of brought up into this particular sound. And I like how there's little nuances throughout this track that, like, you can tell it's just Sakamoto's touch in this. There's this kind of steel drum that's kind of playing at certain moments that kind of gives it a little bit of a near tropical feeling. And whoever the lead singer is, I'm not sure who exactly it is, but her voice is very calm, gentle, and yet it remains a little playful as well. And I mentioned it during the track, but her delivery is very much like a tree just swinging and swaying in the breeze as a gentle wind kind of caresses the leaves. Just, it's very gentle and it just feels good. And it just kind of, I think, like, it's that kind of feel good that emanates from her delivery and her voice and kind of, makes you feel a little tingly, like when the sun shines on you in that particular way. I really enjoyed her vocals there and her style. It's very charming, also the way that she's singing here. But like I said, Sakamoto, I really like the almost the composer conductor kind of style that he takes in tracks like these, where it's a little bit more subtle in his role, but there nonetheless. Like I said, with that kind of steel drum sound or some of the little bits of keyboards and that ambience that came in like a little over halfway through and seemed to kind of change the track for a moment. I thought it was going to change totally from that point forward, but it didn't. It was just kind of there as like a little bit of a break. But I thought that was a really cool moment. Just this whole ambience that kind of grew from here. This was really nice. And I also think it's kind of interesting that in that particular place in the song, usually in typical music and structure and such, there's like a solo or a big break or something, but there he actually just allows a lot more space to be had instead of doing that. So it's really cool how instead of filling the cup or changing the drink, he just kind of empties the cup. I just think that that's really, really nice how he performs that. Then you have some parts that return with the big strings in the symphony. So it kind of, once again, gets to the point of the track listing and the order of music and how maybe literally the tracks don't connect, but there's elements from one track to the next that kind of leave a string of continuity through the songs. Unfortunately, I don't have lyrics for this one. Interestingly enough, I couldn't. There wasn't anything on Genius, and I don't have anything on here for this particular track. Unfortunately, I was just checking on other websites to see if I could find it, but I do not see anything. So with that, we'll move on to the next track here, which is Chinsagu no Hana. Let me do a little Japanese to English translation, so we can get the meaning of that before we go for... Oh, okay. Well, it translated it from here on Wikipedia before I even did it. Flowers of Chinsagu. Here we go. That has to be koto. There's a lot of kind of folk stylings on here, which is kind of cool. This little rise. Because it's such a simple, stately kind of sound, but now it's that sunrise. There's your tabla. Those strings are very emotional as they kind of come into this part here. I like how gently that came in and filled the background of space. It's a little bit of an ominous turn, kind of. I like how the string is just a very simple melody, but it's what the rest of everything else kind of breathes a different life to it. Bring it back in. It's a really wonderfully constructed track there. Now that is a fantastically brought together track, and we have one more after this, but that sounds like it very well be the finale for the album. It has a beautiful sense of closure. Once again, the return of whoever that beautiful vocalist is here. I really like how it starts off with, I mean, I don't see the koto like credited here, so maybe it's just the shamisen or something. I'm sure. Either way, just the string, bum bum. Bum, 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 bum. Well, I'm way off, but just that, and then her vocals accompanying it. Beautiful. Possibly could be traditional again. Possibly could be something, in the vein of what we heard before, in this kind of very wonderfully humble folk kind of nature. Great. Sounds great. But then how smart the composition of Sakamoto and how he so organically ends her singing, starts to bring up this ambience. And I mean, it is like a curtain lifting. It is just this ambience that comes from way in the back, way in the deep, and rises up. And when that comes up, it already kind of breathes another life and a spirit into this particular track, which is really nice. And then like the melody on top of that, like it's just really nicely like done how these new elements come in. The percussion. And it's still what, four different elements: vocals, the stringed instrument, the orchestra, and then the percussion. That's still it. But it's how those four elements are handled so well. And then in the finale, bringing the vocals back in to really round it out and bring it full circle. Like, I think that it just works in such an incredible way. And I think that it's absolutely wonderful how this was composed, constructed, put together. and just performed like in in every sense of the way. I think that is just absolutely fantastically done. Let me pull up the lyrics here again because it closed. Let me see. Let me. I don't know what happened. Is my thing still working? Let me see. I'm trying to. It's closing again. Okay. I'm translating it at the same time, and I think it like froze my thing, but I'm making sure that the recording's not messed up. Okay. Let the balsam flower stain your fingertips and let your parents' lessons sink into your heart. You may be able to count. Of course, this is a translation, it's not going to be exact. The stars that gather in the heavens, but you cannot count the lessons your parents have taught you. Okay, I like this. All these things that are provided from nature, the number of the stars, this and that, but don't forget your parents and all the lessons that they've taught you because they're just as innumerous as that. Oh, I like that. Especially now, I'm going to share this song with Liam. When you sail a ship at night, find the North Star, and your parents who gave birth to you will find you. Ooh, even a precious jewel will rust if it is not polished. So polish your heart morning and evening as you navigate this fleeting world. That's actually a really good little proverb there. Honest people will always have their hopes fulfilled and prosper forever. I like this song version of different proverbs sung here, and how wonderfully that works into the music, which is, of course, kind of lending itself to something so reflective and introspective as well. Ooh, I really like that. Okay. Now, let us move into the final track of the album, and that is going to be Adagio. Oh, this is really Adagio. Nice cover. Such a perfect piece for Sakamoto to cover. What an emotional send-off. That's beautiful. There's no doubt about that. A little bit of field ambience there. A perfect return. That's very, very tight. Oh. Kind of surprising. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Beauty by Ryuichi Sakamoto, ending the album with an incredible piece of music with Adagio, which of course is from Barber there. It's incredibly moving. And can I tell you, this track feels like what the album cover looks like, which I really like that photograph of Sakamoto. There's something very stunning and vulnerable but powerful about it. And I think that this piece really fits the album artwork and the picture of him up there. It's a really moving rendition, and when it comes to Sakamoto and his piano playing, and especially when accompanied by one other singular musician, or or a symphony or a quartet or whatever he's accompanied by, there's always I know I use the word a lot, but there's a gorgeous subtlety in the way that he plays, and there's something so moving about it in the smallest and most minimalistic of ways, but it moves you in such a powerful way. And I think that this is the perfect case of it. I'm assuming that the violin's played by Shankar here, which it's just sublime. There's not much to say about this piece. We've covered it before. We've heard it. I've heard it. And it doesn't make it any less powerful, this particular rendition, which is just brilliant in how it's performed. Really, really fantastic, this one. Now, let's look at some of the info for this album. It's notable for its collage of styles that range from rock, techno, classical to flamenco, African and Japanese traditional. In discussing whether music is narrative and illustrative or an abstract medium, Sakamoto said, "I have visions sometimes when I'm writing contemporary music, even when it's very logical. For example, one of my songs on the album, Beauty, I was having visions of Amazonian rainforest, a little plane flying very low over the trees. Trees, 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 and some birds. But the title of the song is Calling from Tokyo." Sometimes, listen, inspiration comes from the most, random places sometimes. Recorded at various studios. Of course, it features many collaborators, as we mentioned. On his time with working with Wilson, Sakamoto said, "I had asked Brian Wilson to sing on the album, so I went to Los Angeles and we recorded with him. I had been informed that he had had a difficult time, some kind of mental illness, and I could sense that, even though he wasn't that surprising in the studio. But then the following day, I flew from LA back to New York to continue recording, and he showed up without telling me and with his whole family in tow. The schedule was already tightly planned, but I was grateful he'd come, so we made some time to work with him. It was a beautiful moment, one I won't forget for the rest of my life." That was really cool. That was really nice of Wilson too to follow up with him like that. Okay, favorite tracks. I got to give it to Rose. Rose is my favorite track on the album, and it's especially because of that bass. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. After that, I do like Calling from Tokyo in the way that it kind of started off there. I mean, Rose is my favorite track. And all right, I would say Rose, Calling from Tokyo, and I think I would actually say Flowers at Shinsagu. It's just really, really wonderfully built up and really fantastically done. Those are my favorite tracks. I'm happy with that. I'm happy. Are you happy with what we just listened to? Let me know down below in the comment section. You can toss all your thoughts down there. The Buy Me a Coffee, the Patreon, the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, the this button, the that button. There's buttons everywhere. And I appreciate you clicking them. I appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me, a little bit of your time here on the channel listening to some music. I hope that this was something enjoyable for you. And even if it wasn't enjoyable, maybe you learned something from it, experienced something new, just had a good time. So thank you so much for being here. Come back again next time, because you never know what we're doing. Because half the time I don't know what we're doing. But we're doing.